Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. They don't ask how, they ask how many, as the 76ers grab their first victory of the season in Game 1. And it tastes so sweet, it really does. Even though it was ugly and there were really bad stretches throughout, you scored 40 points in the fourth quarter, your big man dominated, and he needed help. There's no doubt about it, he needed help. There was a point in time where you saw he was fatigued. They constantly went to him in the post. The double team would run towards him. You saw that Doc Rivers put a lot of shooters around him, which absolutely helped the spacing and allowed him to go to work differently than what we've seen in the past. But there was a moment in time where he needed somebody else to step up. And Shake Milton did, Seth Curry did, Simmons did throughout the last handful of minutes, and that allowed the Sixers to overcome the deficit that they put themselves into. In the third quarter, you scored 15 points. You didn't score your first bucket until 6 minutes left to go. That is halfway through the third quarter. That is embarrassing. That is so hard to do. Bertans lighting it up from deep. He was shooting it from Pluto when it was going in nonstop. I thought that only happened when Brett Brown was coaching. No, apparently it happens all the time. Wild. What a crazy concept, isn't it? Not only that, Ben Simmons posting up. Offensively, there were some holes. The half-court offense was terrible. The starters were not good enough. You were kept in this game because of bench play, and you can only do that for so long. But let's put a disclaimer out there. I'm fully aware this is Game 1, and if you're new, I have a rule. I don't give my first assessment on the team until at least 20 games. I need way more tape. I need way more film. I need way more games to be played to truly analyze and at least give my first initial reaction to the team. I need at least 20 basketball games. I need a bigger sample size. I'm going to react to this game, though, so just know that. Put that in the back of your head. When I scream, when I react, I am fully conscious of, hey, it's Game 1 of 72 basketball games. They are going to learn a lot. They are going to adapt as a team. They got to figure out what they're doing offensively. This is a new system, a new strategy. You don't snap your fingers and instantly have this team that understands everybody's role and this team that knows where everyone loves to be. It's not the case. Still, though, I do expect more from some of the starters. Seth Curry and Danny Green, they shot 1 for 9 combined from 3. Are you kidding me? We're talking about the two three-point shooters that you brought in here and expected to be able to knock down some shots. Danny Green was minus 27 in 18 minutes with 0 threes. Now, do I think this is Danny Green? No. Doc Rivers was asked about it after the game, and he claimed, did you see what the Lakers did last night against the Clippers? They were fatigued. They were tired. That squad just won a championship. Well, Danny Green is in that same category. It sounds as if the head coach is chalking this up to what Danny Green just went through last season. And he's an older veteran on top of all of that, which is fair. I don't think that should just go unnoticed, as if he didn't just go through the bubble and the weird season that just finished, played until the very end. Absolutely. But there's also been some poor play out of him last season, and we all questioned, what Danny Green are we going to get for a majority of the season? This looked like something that occurred in LA last year. And it goes farther and deeper than the one NBA final shot that he missed. There's way more on the description of Danny Green's play last season. Missed a lot of open threes, missed a lot of open looks. But that's what shooters do, right? They're streaky. There's stretches where they rock and roll and they're cooking left and right. And then there's spurts where might not be their best basketball. Let's just hope that Danny Green can eventually snap out of it, because minus 27 in 18 minutes, that's unplayable basketball. What Tobias Harris gave you was unplayable basketball. And before I attack Toby, remember, as always, we are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. You get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. So Tobias Harris early on started out solid. He was making his shots. It looked like Toby was going to have a nice aggressive game. And then he missed everything. How many wide open looks did he get in the fourth quarter? Big, crucial moments, and he fell flat on his face. It doesn't look pretty. I don't know how you're going to get a different version of Tobias Harris. We hear from the head coach that he needs to make it simpler, essentially. Quicker decisions. It could have something to do with the money, the contract, knowing he was miserable last season and didn't live up to the hype. This isn't the first time a professional athlete has gotten abused from the fan base and getting all the heat from this city. This could just be another scenario of someone being overwhelmed from what we bring to the table from a city standpoint, let's say. I don't know if Tobias Harris is ever going to snap out of it. I think this is what he is. A non-efficient scorer. A non-efficient player. I feel you're going to get more poor play than reasonable play out of him. And that's no bueno when you look at the type of cash that he's getting paid from Joshua Harris and the people upstairs and the people up top. That's got to be an awful signing every single time you sign one of those checks and hand it over to Tobias Harris's stall. What was that take in the fourth quarter? I don't know. He got bailed out by a foul or something. He essentially just threw it to the bottom of the rim, and it shot back super hard. It looks like one of those horrendous takes when you're playing pickup ball at the local park, and you look to one of your teammates and go, who the hell is that guy? Who invited this cat? That was the type of shot you saw out of Toby. Here's the stretch that I thought could have been damaging to this game. I look back. There was about 3-4 minutes left in the game. Ben Simmons had a huge block. Tobias Harris missed a wide open three on the other side. Then Shake Milton ends up missing a pair of free throws. Tobias Harris gets the rebound. He missed a wide open opportunity to just kiss it off the backboard or lay it in. Bradley Beal hits a three on the other side. Tobias Harris then misses a three on the counter of that one. I put my hands in my face and really thought to myself, that could have been it. He finished 3 for 13 from the field. Unacceptable. Can't have it. Won't have it. Won't allow it. Now you saw throughout that this team struggled in the half-court sets. That third quarter, it was putrid. You had nothing. You had similar play to what you saw last year. And then you had Ben Simmons posting up at times. How many podcasts am I going to record where I'm freaking out about the Ben Simmons post-up game? It's not that effective. You can do so many other methods offensively with the basketball. The Ben Simmons post-up stuff, I don't love it. And I get that you can take advantage of his 6'10 body frame on other defenders. And I'm not saying just throw it out the window completely and put it in the trash can. You can utilize it to a certain degree. But I've been very aggressive on this point. Use your body, back someone down, then square up. Square up. And attack from there. Go to the basket from there. But you don't need to do a standard post-up back down. I don't know how that is your best offensive strategy. It's not. And speaking of Ben Simmons, early on, his first shot attempt was actually a jumper. So he took a jumper in the game. Nonchalantly, first possession, decent amount out. Didn't make it, but I love the mentality. I think you're going to see throughout the season because later on, it wasn't necessarily a shot. It was more like a floater or a runner, but it was away from the basket. Anything away from the basket at this point is going to make me excited when it comes to Ben Simmons. So I think throughout, you're going to see little pieces here and there that will show you how he is working on his craft. It's just going to take some time. And I thought in this game, while it wasn't a three, I saw 2 shot attempts that really looked like shot attempts where he is growing and working on the shot. We need him to keep working on the shot. But Ben Simmons, I love the fact that he finished with 16 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Not great at the line, though. 2 for 6 from the charity stripe. That's what I want to stress the most, and I will stress on that every single game, essentially. I am going to circle the free throws from Ben Simmons after every single damn game. I need to see that improve. I need to see that get better. That's totally different from the jump shot and shooting from 15 feet out. We're talking free throws. I need to see it elevate. And how about this? After the game, Matisse Thybulle, who didn't play until about 40 seconds left in the game just for a defensive stop. Tyrese Maxey absolutely took his minutes. But Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons, and Dwight Howard, after the win, went back out on the court and started working on their game. And Ben was talking about how Dwight Howard played a big role in that. I just want to faint thinking about how great this Dwight Howard signing really has been. From that professional level, do you think anybody in years past would have made Ben Simmons go back out there on the floor to work, to grow? That's the little things. But those little things end up being monstrous, end up being huge. Okay, so he's 24 years old right now, right? And he's been around the league for a couple of years, no doubt about it. So it's not as if this is a new world for him. But learning it now, and you look at his NBA career and what it can possibly be, right now, something so simple as going back out after a game to continue to work. This right here can be a big turning point in the growth of the professionalism of Ben Simmons himself. He definitely packed the stat sheet, though. And he had a decent amount of field goal attempts. That's also something that stood out to me. Now, there were times I thought he was shy, but after he got crossed up a bit by Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook started to do his little celebration, he had that swag to him where he went downhill and he took it to the hoop. I wish he left that mode on. It eventually died out. And that's the frustrating thing. You see it. You see it. You do. Why don't you constantly bring that to the table? Why did you stop going downhill? He fired you up. He pissed you off. Okay. Keep going at him. Keep going at this team. I can't stand Russell Westbrook, though. Sure, he gets a triple-double, and I'm not discrediting what he does. 14 assists or so, double-digit rebounds, 20-plus points. There's something to it. He also takes 20-plus shots to get it. There were times where I thought he was stepping into his shots in rhythm. He would catch the ball, dribble, step in, and he was knocking them down throughout the game. But ultimately, he's not a very efficient guy, and that has been a big knock on who he is. I don't think this Wizards team is any good, to be fair, even though Bradley Beal gives you that 30 consistently, and Russell Westbrook, the thing is they had John Wall, but John Wall hasn't been available. Russell Westbrook adds that reliable player now who isn't banged up to the John Wall level, but still, I don't look at this team as anything legitimate. I still look at them as a team that kind of is what it is. And I bring that up because I feel the Sixers should have never been in this scenario, but it's game one. I guess I would say jitters are involved, but it's not as if there were fans to crush them and criticize them if the play wasn't up to standard, which it wasn't. But you always have that initial first game vibes, and it's not as pretty. It's not as gorgeous. Not everyone picks up the ball, and it's outrageous, perfect basketball from the start. So you knew that going in. I still thought it could have played out a little differently. But going to Joel Embiid, the fourth quarter, the team scored 40 points as a squad, which is very impressive. 29-14. I was laughing because it felt, maybe first three quarters, Joel Embiid was flopping all over the place, hitting the deck, hitting the hardwood, maybe 5 or 6 times, rolling around. Come on, Joel! Stay on your damn feet! But he dialed in, and he was unstoppable. And over the last handful of podcasts to preview what this team was going to be about, I raised the question, is Joel Embiid late good enough? If you got to go bucket for bucket, will he be able to constantly do it? Now, against Bryant and some of these other fools, absolutely. In regular season basketball, absolutely. You still lack a shot creator to an elite degree. So when things become more serious and when you're playing opponents that are at the top of the league and that have competitors that can match yours, will you be able to get the same production? I don't want to take away from what Joel Embiid did in this specific game because it was big. He did need help, though. There was a moment in time, handful of minutes left, where you clearly could see that Joel Embiid was fatigued, and he needed help. He needed somebody else to step up to score a bucket. So whether it was Shake or Ben Simmons or Seth Curry with that one-footed jumper, you had other players deliver to give Joel Embiid that rest. And then ultimately, you were able to go back to him when needed. Now, Shake, he was impressive. He was plus 33. You know me and my plus minus. Everyone likes to chirp me. Bro's plus minus is stupid. When you're plus 33, like Shake Milton was off the bench, that is telling you something. He was outrageous. Not only offensively, where he wasn't afraid to attack the basket, that left-handed layup. He wasn't afraid to go to the foul line, although he did miss 2 crucial free throws late. He wasn't horrendous at the free throw line, and I think he will be better most times than not. He will knock them down more times than he misses 2 of 2 like he did. But late in the game, that does stand out to me, right? You want to make sure in those moments you can take that deep breath. You can make sure that the pressure is not too big. I'm not crushing the guy. I'm just pointing it out. But defensively, whether it was Bradley Beal, whether it was Russell Westbrook, Shake Milton held his own defensively. You need that out of this kid. And also, half-court sets late, fourth quarter action. Who was running the point? Who was running the offense? Who was initiating everything? It was Shake Milton. Ben Simmons, not bringing the ball up, not being the guy with the ball in his hands. Now, Doc drew up an awesome play out of a timeout that had Washington very confused. Joel Embiid was at the top of the perimeter. Ben Simmons was in that dunker spot. It looked like it fooled the defense. They ran out to Joel Embiid because that's who you've been consistently utilizing deeper into the game. And Ben Simmons was wide open, a nice pass to him, and he takes it to the rack and gets a nice jam. That was a crucial bucket, an awesome play design, an awesome play call. And it was executed, which is the most important part, out of everybody involved and engaged in the play. But what I saw out of Shake Milton overall, I said it from the jump. I'm not buying into this is Lou Will automatically. I need to see it. I need to see a handful of games. I need to see a stretch. I need to see a month. I need to see him constantly play this way. And if he does, hell yeah. This is a difference-making piece. It really is. It really is. Him and Tyrese Maxey off the bench, they were doing something special. Now, Tyrese Maxey died out towards the second half. It seemed like he was rushing things, moving too quickly. It was almost as if he was trying to push the pace, because that's something Doc Rivers has been very vocal about. Let's push the pace. Let's play fast, up and down. But it was almost as if he really took that too much to heart, and the game was moving real fast for him in the second half. In the first half, though, you saw a lot. Whether it was not just scoring points, but creating offense for his teammates, grabbing some boards. He did a little bit of everything, Tyrese Maxey. Shake Milton and him off the bench was awesome. Now, Furkan had some shots off the bench, knocked down a couple threes for all your Furkan people out there. I was thinking about how to address Furkan this season for me. Do I acknowledge it every game that I can't stand the guy? Do I acknowledge it every game that he won't work in postseason play? At one point, it was Furkan Korkmaz versus Raul Neto one-on-one, and Furkan got the best of him. You know what I was thinking? Oh, this is the matchup I signed up for. This is the matchup I really wanted to see. When I woke up this morning and had my cup of coffee, all I was thinking about was the Sixers, and specifically Neto versus Korkmaz, to see who would win the matchup. That's exactly what I paid to see. But seriously, I don't really know how to operate under this Furkan Korkmaz season, because I know he's going to be coming off the bench early, and I know he's going to be a part of Doc Rivers in the regular season. just be aware. Be aware that I'm probably going to hate on him for majority of the time because whatever he does here, it won't relate to when you actually need him to score some buckets. And I've been very hard on him. I do wonder, though, if there's more spacing out there on the floor outside of Furkan, because last year, he was your spacer. He was all you had. If you have other spacing, will Furkan Korkmaz have more time available? And the answer is yes, but that doesn't answer the question, can he do anything in postseason play, because he's not athletic enough. You can't just learn athleticism. You can't learn being able to hang with some of these guys out there. And that's what he lacks. And you can still see him get abused defensively. But in this game, look, you're going to have games this regular season where Furkan does well. He's going to be a bench spark plug. And this bench was why you hung in there. Mike Scott had some moments. Dwight Howard, he played just over 10 minutes and he grabbed 10 boards. He finished with 13 minutes of play, 10 rebounds. So how about that? And Matisse Thybulle, as mentioned earlier, 40 seconds or so left in the game, he came in for a defensive stop. I'm telling you, Matisse Thybulle is probably not going to get much playing time. Tyrese Maxey has something that nobody else on this basketball team has. Matisse Thybulle is missing a key part, a key component. It's not D, it's 3 and D. That role that he's trying to fill, it's not just called D. It's called 3 and D. He doesn't have the 3. Well, guess what? If you don't have that, you're going to see very limited play. And I wonder if he's realizing it, not happy with where he is, and he knows he needs to add. So that's why after the game, he's jacking up a bunch of shots, working on things, because he's probably witnessing right now a scenario where he sees himself sitting on the bench, not getting any minutes. After playing a lot last year, I would probably say that is annoying. That is not entertaining, right? So how about this, fellas? The 2021 basketball season is here. The teams around the league took the offseason to retool and revamp and are ready to hit the court. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, has rolled out another one of their can't-miss offers. Trying DraftKings Sportsbook is easy, so what are you waiting for? Get in on all the action. Listen to this deal, all right? DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new players 100-1 odds on any featured matchup this week. That's right. All you have to do is bet $1 on any featured matchup this week, and if your team wins, you cash a crisp $100. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes when you sign up to get 100-1 odds on any featured matchup this week. That's code Brodes for new players to get a shot at $100 on any featured matchup this week for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hearing Mark Zumoff on the call was great. Him and Allah, pregame, even with the piece of plexiglass in front of them or side by side next to them. Just seeing them, hearing them. It was beautiful. It was poetry to the ears. To hear Mark Zumoff on the call as Joel Embiid is backing defenders down into the post. Keep driving it. Keep doing it. Keep calling the same play. Keep doing what you're doing until they can stop you. The Sixers only made 8 threes. They didn't shoot very well from the perimeter. And if you look at it from this aspect, the fact that you won a game when Danny Green and Seth Curry go 1 for 9 combined from 3, where you only hit 8 3-pointers as a team, when you score 15 points in the third quarter, with all this brutal stuff occurring, and you still find a way to win, that's pretty damn impressive. Now, early, I liked some of the things I saw. They scored 30 points in the first quarter. I saw a lot of screens being set. I saw a lot of different ball handlers bringing the ball up. Obviously, we saw a lot of pick and roll action. You saw a lot. Dribble handoffs. You see the way that they're going to operate, and you see some of their sets that they're going to use a decent amount of times. But then when things slowed down, it got miserable, and there wasn't as much movement, and it got a little sloppy, and it looked brutal. It really did. It looked very similar to what you saw last year. The Wizards went on a big run. Whew. Luckily, though, they dug deep. And that's a character win. I'm not trying to discredit it. I'm acknowledging it. That's a character win. It's very early in the season, but to be down, to know that you're not playing up to your standards, to know that you should be beating this team by more. Fourth quarter action. We just came off one of the worst quarters we're ever going to have this season. How do we get things going? How do we come together as a unit? One thing that I want to see keep growing, though, is Shake Milton and that confidence. When I see Shake Milton being the guy with the ball in his hands, running the offense late in the game, that tells me you're going to be seeing that a lot. You're going to see Ben Simmons off the ball. Now, sometimes that concerns me because I do think that affects the spacing. But if Doc Rivers has a plan to best utilize him, well, it can work because we saw it work. We saw where a defender had to make a decision. Do I allow Joel Embiid to get the basketball knowing that's where they want to go? Well, I mean, you can't leave Ben Simmons wide open there in the dunker spot. Obviously, that was a mistake. But that's the confusion that occurs when you have two stars there like you do. It was a crazy game. It was an up and down roller coaster for me. Super juiced, super excited, super disappointed, super stoked, super... if that's even a word to describe my feeling, but I'm going to use it that way. Hopefully you can properly understand what I'm saying there. You have two games coming up this weekend, back to back, Saturday, Sunday. No Christmas Day game. And I wonder if they're taking that to heart. Are they getting disrespected? I heard some guys who are very connected in this league talking about the Sixers, and apparently inside the NBA, not that anyone's writing them off, because when you have Ben and Joel, you are obviously involved in conversation and ratings are there and people want to see Joel Embiid. So they're not a unit of bums by any means, but in terms of national attention, national media, the league and the people inside the league don't think they pop as much as maybe we do here. They could be wrong. It doesn't mean they're necessarily right because they feel this way, but they feel this way. They weren't on TNT to open up the season. They're not on Christmas Day. So if I'm the Sixers organization, if I'm Doc Rivers, you know what I'm doing? We're doing a little bulletin board material. That's right. That's a thing. In pro sports, it's a thing. Whether someone on the other team says something and you hear the quotes, or whether it's something so simple as not being on national TV. I'm pulling up the schedule and going, you see this? Yeah, they're flipping you the bird. Flip it back to them. Speaking of flipping it back to them, it got chippy in this game. Somehow Bertans had that foul, and they went to the monitors. It took a while, but Russell Westbrook was chirping. He was going at it with Dwight Howard on the bench. Apparently, he was chirping away when he was sitting on the bench as well. It's funny, when you read these beat reporters that are covering the game, there's no one there. So they're sitting there watching the game, and they can hear everything. When guys are shooting free throws, they can hear what the opponent's saying to whoever's at the line. You can hear people on the bench. You can see and hear so much more, and I'm sure that it's pretty cool experience to hear that. Not that that's better than a packed barn. When they did the announcements and the starting lineups, it was a little defeating knowing what used to be in that building. When they played the initial video, the hype-up video, they threw in a little Jack Harlow in there. I was getting all pumped up. The hairs were sticking up on my arms. I was ready to run through the damn wall. Sucks, though, because I know what the atmosphere is like in the Wells Fargo Center when there's 25,000, fire going up when Joel Embiid runs out. It's so disappointing. It really is. It's so hard to look at sometimes, knowing that we are here in this situation. But I digress. I don't want to be all negative and all brutal. The basketball team won. But let's focus on the positives here. They are 1-0. What do they do next? How do they build off of this? They're going to have to change a lot offensively. They snuck away. It's that simple. When you look at this game and you describe this basketball game, it's really easy to pretty much say what happened. They snuck away with a victory they did not deserve. Good teams do that. If you're a good team and it's not your night and you're not grooming together and you're not having this best game where everyone's on top of it, a lot of guys underperforming, good teams still find ways to squeak them out. So that's a positive sign. I just need to see better half-court sets. I need to see better offensive production. If you constantly get this over and over again, and that's why I say 20 games. Let me see how this offense operates in 20 games. If by game 17 you're seeing similar offensive sets, we got a problem. We got an issue. And I jokingly, but not jokingly, brought this up the other day. If Tobias Harris is so pitiful, is there a possibility where he doesn't even start? Could you see a lineup of Shake Milton, Seth Curry, and go down another road where, what would it be at that point? It would be, well, you can do something like Ben Simmons, Shake, Seth. What am I missing here? Danny Green and Joel Embiid. I'm all over the place here mentally trying to figure out what the hell is going on. The damn roster. Just watched them for 2.5, 3 hours and somehow they all escape my brain. But would you ever see a scenario where that's the case? And Toby comes off the bench. Toby hurt you! Now, you can say that there were wide open shots for this team, and they were missing. They were flat out just missing open looks. You can make the argument that that's not going to happen. These are NBA players, and at some point, statistics are statistics for a reason, and they will go back to who they are. So some games you're shooting lights out, some games you're going to fall on your face, and sometimes you shoot your average. But you're going to ultimately be who you are. I'm just a little worried, though, when it comes to Tobias Harris, because something screams, uh-oh. It's not looking good. Now, I got a couple things to tell you before I let you go. I am doing a giveaway on my Twitter page. Christmas Day will be the last day I will announce a winner. I'm giving away a free 76ers hat. So head over to my Twitter, @Brodes81. At the top of my profile, I have a pinned tweet. All you have to do is follow me and retweet that tweet, and you are entered to win. We're going to be doing so many more giveaways throughout the season, so make sure you are dialed in and tuned in to my Twitter page. And lastly here, I got to tell you about my friends at Orbit Energy and Power. I am a new homeowner, and they have provided so much for my home. They install solar, $0 electric bills, water purification systems, tree removals, electrical upgrades, you name it. They can upgrade your home in so many different ways. I guarantee you they have the best in-class work. So their information is down below in the description. Phone number, website, reach out to them. You will want them to work on your house. They have the best-in-class tools, the best-in-class installers, the best-in-class crew members, team members in the office. It's crazy. It's unreal. Orbit Energy and Power. Check out their information. So thank you all so much for listening. I'm super juiced up to be back into the hoops talk, right? That's always fun. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.